All right, so going through change can be one of the most difficult things to start, but once you start building momentum, it can quickly become one of the best things to ever happen to you. So I think in this video, I just wanted to kind of talk about change and I guess what I would consider some of the four main areas where a lot of these changes will actually take place. So for the purpose of this video, it's mainly to help others who might be just a little bit younger than me. But also, I'm new to this whole change thing, so I also want to document my own journey so that way in the future I can look back at this video and kind of understand where I came from. So basically, we're going to kind of dive into topic one, and it's going to be more about life experiences, and I'm going to speak from my personal experience. So just to put things into perspective, I am only 25 years old, fixing to be 26. So I'm still relatively young, but I'm probably at that halfway point between, these phases of life where I feel like a lot of changes start to take place. And you really start to learn and see things from a different perspective. So I guess I'll just start from basically probably one of the most challenging things that I had to grow up dealing with, but it also gave me the most resilience to a lot of external noise, if that makes sense. So for me, since I was 3 years old, I have had alopecia. Just basically one day my hair decided to randomly fall off, and nobody knew what was really going on at the time, and I was too young to kind of remember any of this. So basically, growing up, dealing with this has actually been a pretty big challenge of mine, pretty much up until I became an adult. So you could probably only imagine how kids are these days. Pretty much, probably a little worse these days than they used to be, but I had to put up with a lot of crap, basically. But I think that ultimately, now that I'm an adult, has built a lot of resilience, and just I can easily tune out negative comments or anything that's just out of the blue that just doesn't sit well with me. So as far as if you're going through anything similar to this or even totally different, I guess just know that it's going to build resilience. As you get older, you're going to adapt. You're forging your armor to be able to deal with this type of situation. No matter how old you are, you could be older than me, younger than me, you could be my age. It can be a totally different thing you're dealing with, but just know it is going to build armor, it's going to build resilience, and as you get older, that stuff will start to affect you less. All right, so moving on to the next subject, and we're going to be talking about career growth in this one. So basically for me, at the age of 18, I graduated high school, and I was pretty much given three choices: to go find a job, join the military, or just go to college full time. I took option one and decided to go find a job. So for me, I had a brother who works in a fairly decent place. So I decided to go try that I gave it a year at least. But very quickly, I would say within 3 months, they were doing a lot of hiring. So first you go in as a contractor, and then you can get hired on permanently, which gives you all the benefits, 401k, all that good stuff. So I was fortunate enough to be in when they did all these hiring, so it was a good window. So basically they did a hiring, got hired on within 3 months, and obviously I'm not going to state in this video where I work, just for personal reasons, but yeah, I got hired on pretty quickly and moved up into that permanent position. Fast forward 7 years now. I've been there since I was 18 and I'm about to be 26. So fast forward 7 years, and I have made advancement where now I am still right below a manager, but now I'm a supervisor of my own area, essentially. So it's a pretty fun job. There's a lot to learn, a lot to do. but I definitely want to do more. I want to keep growing. So with that being said, if you're somebody who's just now graduating high school or just now getting out of college, because I see a lot of college kids come into where I work at as well, basically you need to put your foot in the best position you can. You need to talk to people, talk to these managers, just go up directly and ask them, hey, what do I need to do to put myself in a better position? What are those things I need to look out for to be or to move towards X, Y, or Z, whatever the position is that you're looking for. Obviously, you want to say that's where you want to go to. So I kind of did that, and I still do that to this day where every now and again I'll kind of sit down with one of my managers and be like, hey, what else do I need to look at to improve or to learn, to get to where I want to be. So not only am I trying to advance like that, but I'm also in college. I'm not a full-time student. I'm just kind of doing part-time, but however, next semester I will be a full-time student while also trying to work because I just kind of want to finish school and get out of the way. So fortunately, I don't have to pay for school because I'm fortunate enough to have a job that does tuition reimbursement. So I don't have to worry about any debt. So I don't really have a whole lot to lose to just go and do that. But also with that being said, career growth led me to finally being able to afford my own place. Because recently I just moved out. I probably have only been in this place for this is my 3rd week now. But since I was 18 all the way to 25, I was working and just saving a little bit of money, but also I just couldn't afford to move out on my own. So now I'm out on my own and things are definitely different now that you're out on your own. So yeah, just to put things as simply as I can, you have got to show people and stand out with people you're working with. Obviously, you don't want to just be a show-off or somebody who's cocky, but you just want to show that you're willing to grow, willing to learn, and go up and ask these questions that some people just might be too afraid to go ask. So that's kind of my perspective on career growth. It's going to be very important. Unless you're starting your own business, this kind of applies to all that as well. You kind of want to always be learning and just trying to do new things and just showing a willingness to do that. And then if you do, you'll go far in life. All right, so kind of moving on to the next subject, and we're going to be talking about just thinking outside the box. Now, this could mean like a multitude of things. So really, you just kind of want to apply it to something that you want to work on or you've been wanting to try or do for the longest time. So for me, thinking outside the box has always been kind of like, oh, what can I work on? So for example, I turned on this camera just to kind of start talking and rambling on, just to be somebody random on YouTube. And obviously I'll post this to my Instagram too. But you just gotta try to find something that you've always liked doing and just go for it. Just start. That's literally what thinking outside the box is. You just need to go find something that's out of the norm. So for me, I work a full-time job and I do school. So outside of that box, what can I go do? Can I go be an athlete? Can I go record YouTube videos? And I'm trying to think of some examples here. So basically, you kind of just want to start thinking about how can you make your life better, just 1% each day. Obviously, if you can go more than that and you can really just dedicate yourself to something, you can go more than just 1% per day, but 1% per day is going to be a good starting point for most people. So thinking outside the box could just be like, oh, you're going to wake up a little bit earlier and make sure that you eat breakfast before you go to work. Or when you get off work, you're going to go for a run, or you're going to go hit the gym. Or when you get off work, instead of just going to play video games or going to do something else, you're going to sit there and maybe read a book that actually has some good information in it. So recently for me, and no, I'm not like super religious, but I decided to finally open up the Bible and start giving it a read. It was pretty much read to me as a kid by my mom, but I don't remember any of it because I was so young to retain probably a lot of that information. And a lot of stuff I do know is just stuff I've heard growing up. So that's probably a good example. Obviously, like I said before, the other one is just kind of pick up a phone and just start recording. I mean, anybody can do this. I'm doing it. You can do it. There's tons of people doing it. Obviously, you want to put your own spin on things and give value to. You want to provide value. So that's all I have on thinking outside the box. But really, you got to find your own rhythm, and once you find your own rhythm to this, you'll probably start to feel a lot better. And this plays a pretty big role into just kind of changing whatever it is you're trying to change in life. So the last one I kind of want to talk about is hitting the gym. Now, this is probably the best one to start out of everything I'm just sort of talking about in this video, is just going to the gym. So none of this stuff I talked about was in any particular order. But if I had to order, a gym would just be number one, just always number one. So I'm not like a very, like jack guy, but I do go to the gym and I do play sports and I run occasionally, running probably last, just kind of marathon, more of a sprinter. I like to play soccer, but I think at least 3 days a week I will go do the gym and do just a full body workout and just make sure I eat the calories I need to start gaining a little bit of weight. And recently I have been gaining a little bit of weight, which is kind of what some of these other videos I'm going to be making are going to tailor towards. But the gym is just so amazing because whether you work out after work or you work out before work, obviously working out before work gives you so much motivation for the day, but depending on your schedule, that can be really, really rough. So working out after work is probably better for a lot of people, just depending on how early you go to work. So for me, I literally have to leave my house no later than 4 o'clock in the morning to be at work. So in order to go to the gym, I would have to wake up at like 2:30 at the latest to be able to work out and then go to work right after, which is doable, but going to bed at 7 something when the sun is still shining out here is not the easiest thing to do. So yeah, going to the gym, it'll kind of just push you out of your comfort zone. It'll make you push harder through things. It'll make you push for that one more rep, to not giving up. So, and this kind of goes back to what I was talking about in the first subject. Going to the gym is going to also help you build that resilience and build that armor. That's because that's something nobody can take away from you, is whenever you are fit and you're physically able to go do things. That there's quite honestly a lot of people who just don't go do. So if you had to pick something and all of this kind of ties into the gym. If you had to pick something to go be better, that was actually going to provide so much value to you, it's going to the gym. And I'm probably sure you've heard this like 1,000 times, but it's just that true. Go to the gym, start working out. You will feel amazing, and it'll bleed into all these other areas of your life, career, your body, life experiences, and just kind of thinking outside the box. So that's kind of just my take on some of this stuff. I'm gonna be ending the video here. Obviously, if you guys like this or you guys have your own opinions and you see this video, just kind of leave a comment down below and we'll interact and kind of talk about things. I'm pretty open. I'm an open book. I don't have to sugarcoat anything. So till the next video.